What up? It's your boy, The Incredible Man, and yes, I'm back at it again, and this is Chicago Med Season 5, Episode 2, discussion/review, man. Let's get it. Okay. The good thing that I actually enjoyed this week was there was a time difference. Last week's episode picked up right after Season 4 ended, but this week's episode takes place 4 weeks ahead, and I like that. So it gave us enough time to have Natalie recuperate and come back to work. So that's why I'm pretty sure it took place, like there was a 4-week time span. So by the time she came back to work, we could have Natalie working. But this episode started with us seeing Maggie at the other hospital getting her chemo treatment. Now, I felt some type of way because this whole episode felt like everything that could go wrong went wrong this episode. But we see Maggie getting her treatment, and she was like, oh, well, I gotta go. I'm gonna be late for work. And the lady was like, no, you need to go home and get some rest. And she's like, no, I can't. I have a friend coming back from being injured, and she's coming back to work, and I have to go agree. Yeah, no, Maggie, you need some rest. I really wanted Maggie to go home, but I knew she was gonna go to med anyway. Then we jump straight to med. And we see Will sniffing some flowers, and Maggie telling him that these flowers are from Philip to Natalie. And you guys know exactly how I felt about Philip from last week. We know he's a schemer, he's a liar, and nobody trusts Philip. Well, I take that back. They sort of kind of trust Philip. Everybody except for Dr. Marcel. I learned his name. And Will, and of course, I can't think of his name. But anyway, the other guy, the neurosurgeon doctor. I can't think of his name. Anyway, but we all know that Philip is garbage, man. That's exactly what he is, and he's using Natalie for some reason, for some purpose. I honestly don't know, because he can't love her. More so, he's obsessed with her than anything else. But this whole episode was pretty much a power outage episode, and there was a bunch of minor stuff going on in the whole thing, and that it was good. It was very good. So let's get into it, man. Also, this episode, we have Noah. Noah's back, and I'm happy and excited to see Noah. And I love his and Dr. Marcel's relationship. Their relationship was very good. It was very back and forth, and more so like Dr. Marcel is the guide and Noah is the protege. And he also even changed Noah's mind about medicine in particular, because Noah didn't want to be a surgeon, but now he's thinking about being a surgeon. So I miss Connor, and I would love to have Connor back, but I'm really liking Dr. Marcel a lot. He seems like a wonderful character, and I can't wait to see him in more situations than what he was in this week, because this week we had a wreck. An ambulance turned over, and there was a patient that was injured, and a paramedic that was injured. And Dr. Marcel and Noah took on the patient, and it was an older guy, and he had a heart attack in the ambulance, and they had to have him have surgery. Noah tried to find different kind of alternate means so he wouldn't have to have the surgery, because the patient was looking kind of scared. But Dr. Marcel was telling him, no, you need it, because one more cheeseburger and you could possibly have another heart attack, and this time you won't be saved. So they end up getting a surgery, and right when they get to surgery, right when everything's going smoothly, the power cuts out. So then we cuts back. Let's get back into some of the other stuff. At this time, we also have Will coming in contact with some teenage girls, and I'm gonna wrap up their whole little thing like in one moment, because they come in shaking and having seizures and twitching and everything else, and they blamed it on a gas leak at school, and that they had to get out of the hospital because they had a soccer game and SAT scores and everything else, and their problems was all psychosomatic, because there was nothing really wrong with them. It was the pressure of everything being piled on top of them, and succeeding and making their parents proud, and that their brain was trying to find some way to cope with all of that, and it turned out making fake symptoms. Well, real symptoms, but like from a fake diagnosis. You get what I'm saying. And then Dr. Charles gave them a placebo, aka a Tic Tac, and a cup of water. Here, take this, and the next thing you know, they're fine in the next room. What? So I like that. But now, something else I really want to discuss. I didn't notice it. I noticed it in the first episode last week, but I really, really noticed it this week. Dr. Curry has feelings for Will. I think she likes Will. That is okay. I see you, Dr. Curry. I see you. Your girl has feelings for Will. Everybody likes Will, man. Will is a wonderful character. But then we also have this episode. We have Natalie coming back to work, and I don't know. This is where the story gets different, because Natalie came back to work. She said she's ready, but Dr. Lanik told her she wasn't. She was strictly going to do light patient work. She wasn't going to do anything major, and she felt like she was ready. So they get a gunshot victim. Dr. Lanik was actually doing everything, and then he told Natalie to take him up to surgery because he pretty much patched it up downstairs, so he needed to go up to surgery to stop the bleeding. They get in the elevator. Boom. Power goes out. Natalie is stuck in the elevator. The dude started to feel some type of way because he's scared. He's been shot. I mean, who wouldn't be scared? Then he's in the elevator. The elevator can't go nowhere. They're just stuck in the shaft. Then, long story short, we get there, and now Matt Casey from Chicago Fire pulls up and opens the top of the elevator shaft. Hey, Nat, you need some help? Yeah. So she then tries to pull up the dude that's been shot to pass him to Matt. Then he starts twitching and shaking and blacking out. So he can't sit up. The pressure's not going to let him sit up, and he's almost flatlined and passed out and everything else. So that's not going to work. So she laid him back down. Then all of a sudden, she starts to feel dizzy and lightheaded. The room starts spinning. She's not ready to come back to work. But then she starts to intubate this dude. She can't intubate him because she can't get it just right. He's throwing up. Matt had to step in and intubate the dude. I'm like, Natalie, I love you. I really do. But you're not ready to come back to work. So please go home until you're actually better. But then she has to take and cut an incision in the side of him and clamp off his one of his arteries to make his heart and his brain receive blood because he was bleeding out. But it was sloppy. Even Dr. Lanik told her it was sloppy, but she saved the guy's life, so he gave her a little credit, but he still told her she wasn't ready to come back to full work, but if she wanted to, but he was going to watch her. So you can't take any more than that. And you got lucky, Natalie. But then we have one of the most traumatic moments for myself. Maggie was working like hardcore, man, but she was starting to sweat and burn up, and everybody else thought she was just suffering because of the power being out. But we all know that it's the chemo that's really dealing with her, and it's struggling, and she didn't need to be at work. Oh my gosh, I love Natalie and Maggie, but I want both of them to take better care of themselves, man. It's like everything that could go wrong went wrong in this episode, man. It was so much. Then we have April. To me, April was the star of this episode. April was walking around caring for everybody, even Dr. Choi, when he can get stubborn and he doesn't want to listen to anybody. And the new doctor, which is one of the residents that was training at Chicago Med, that Choi semi kind of tried to take under his wing, and they were taking care of everything. They had to take and help the paramedic that was hurt in the ambulance that was turned over. And a lot of stuff happened with that as well, man. Dude started bleeding in his abdomen. They had to cut him open. And every time the dude felt like he really couldn't take it, and you could tell he was kind of shaky, and this really isn't working well for him, Dr. Choi would put more pressure on him and tell him just, hey, go ahead, you got it. You sure? Hey, you got this? Yeah, I'm good. And dude really didn't have it. He was crushing under the pressure. And at the end of this episode, after everything was over, he was like, I don't think I could do this. I don't think doing this every day is for me. I love medicine, but I don't think this is for me. And I was like, dude, that is a hard step to make. He went through medical school and everything to be a doctor, and he admitted that he loves medicine, and he even saved this dude's life, but he don't think he can handle doing that and dealing with all that blood and pressure and everything like that, and having someone's life in his hands like that every single day, man. That is a hard step for him to admit that, and I have to give him major props for that. But at the same time, let's admit, Choi kind of ran him off. It's not that he intended to. He thought he could handle the pressure, but like April said in this episode, man, Choi focuses on his patient. And when he focuses on his patient, nothing else around him really matters until his patient is fully healed. And that's just what it is, man. But all in all, it was a good episode. I enjoyed it as well. And I told you guys last week, I love Chicago Med. There wasn't, like, it's a drama show, so there was drama, but it wasn't too much pain, especially with our main cast. But I really want Natalie and Maggie to take better care of themselves. And at the ending of this episode, Will tried to ask Natalie what was she really going to tell him, because he did not believe that she was going to tell him that she was marrying Philip. And she just went off and snapped at Will, man. Okay, I know you feel some type of way about Will, and you claim that you love Philip, but even at the beginning of this episode, she felt like, well, I can't really put my memory back together because I'm missing some stuff, but I don't know if I really... You questioned yourself from the very beginning of this episode, and then when Will confronts you about it, you kind of flip-floppy. I love Natalie, but sometimes she gets on my nerves, man. But this is your boy, Dick Incredible. Don't forget to smash that like button until you can't smash it anymore. Comment down below, and I'll be sure to respond to each and every one of them, and subscribe, but only if you really want to, man. Peace out.